this morning at 8 on Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, a Joplin couple took a gamble on the Chiefs heading to the Super Bowl, and they won. Fernanda Silva shares how they plan on watching the big game. Also, an Arkansas company has been found in violation of several operation guidelines in Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. A Joplin couple is going to Las Vegas on Super Bowl weekend, but they started gambling even before getting there. Die-hard Chiefs fans Sarah and Josh Schmutz bought their plane tickets even before knowing if the Chiefs would make it to the playoffs. With tickets for Super Bowl currently at historically high prices, the couple will watch the game from a restaurant with friends. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
Within an hour of the game being over on Sunday, we were like, yeah, we're definitely going.
The Kansas City Chiefs weren't even in the playoffs when Joplin resident Josh Schmutz and his wife decided to buy airplane tickets to go to Las Vegas on the Super Bowl weekend. Even though they know they won't be able to watch the game in the stadium,
The expense of the tickets is going to be so far out of reach.
they didn't want to miss out on the experience.
I think it's going to start from the moment we get off the plane. I'm sure we're going to be seeing Chiefs fans everywhere. It's definitely going to be a Chiefs takeover in Raiders territory.
According to MSSU professor Brian Nichols, the destination is one of the reasons why ticket prices are currently at historical levels.
Vegas is a lot of entertainment, so people are wanting to go there for not only the Super Bowl, but also for some entertainment also.
He says that Vegas being relatively close to San Francisco is another factor that influences the prices. For people willing to spend 5 figures to watch Mahomes playing his 4th Super Bowl in person, Nichols has some advice.
Don't be too early. Maybe wait 3 to 5 days before the game, because there may be, maybe not with this one, but typically there's a little dip in ticket prices, and then you'd still have time to make travel arrangements.
And for those buying tickets online, he has more hints.
Don't go, answer a Facebook ad and give someone, send someone, cash, without seeing the actual tickets.
After all, the goal is having fun.
Chiefs fans travel hard, and they show up, and then you just start seeing, and you just make instant friends because everybody just wants to be like, go Chiefs.
In the 4 states, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey also warned fans to be wary of any suspicious ticket offerings and to take steps to protect themselves. The advice includes making sure you are buying your tickets from a trustworthy website and using a credit card for the purchase. You can learn more on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy with a quick look at the weather.
All right, good morning, everyone. Of course, heading out to the door this morning, it's not bad. We do have a lot of clouds that have increased across the region, but still, our temperatures look great. So heading out the door to school, mostly cloudy skies, about 50 degrees. Now, the southerly winds starting to pick up a little bit at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But heading home, check this out, 65 degrees. But again, those southerly winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So up to 61 by noon, 65 by 3. I actually think our high temp right around 66 or 67 degrees. And then we back down to 61 by 6 p.m. But those winds are going to start to kick up. Southerly winds, gust at times, especially by this evening, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And look at this. They stay pretty breezy all the way into your Friday as well. Now, this is going to keep our temperatures up, but what this will also do is bring some rain into the forecast for the weekend. So we're going to be talking about that all coming up here in just a bit.
Thanks, Doug. Denali and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources have come to an agreement regarding storage basins in McDonald County. Last year, the Denali company had come under scrutiny in connection with its disposal of byproducts from food facilities. In November, Denali was ordered to stop a land application in the state and empty its storage basins. In an abatement order posted yesterday by the DNR, the department says Denali operated and maintained 3 water contaminant sources without a permit and committed other violations. According to a statement, Denali is hauling away food processing residuals stored in basins. That material will be taken to a wastewater treatment plant in Missouri or other outlets out of state. Students at PSU held a Russ Rush to showcase some of the activities and organizations available on campus. The hallways of Russ Hall were filled with booths and more were on the back lawn. Event organizers said the day served as a great way for students to make some connections.
So there's a lot more effort in trying to connect people. I think Pitt State, both from our student organizations and from the institutional side, work really hard to get people connected, but this is a great opportunity to put everybody in one spot to bridge those gaps.
Organizers say they hope students use the day to find out about fundraisers, student organizations, and just have a good casual conversation that made them feel positive. Gun Park in Fort Scott, Kansas has more trout as of yesterday. The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks continues its latest restocking effort there. And it comes after the department made some changes to trout fishing in the state. The season used to start on November 1st, but now starts on December 1st and runs to March 31st. Officials say trout fishing is a great way to enjoy the outdoors.
It's an excellent thing. It gives people a chance to get away from work, relax, enjoy the sun, catch some trout, have some time with Mother Nature, get away from their job. It's an important health opportunity.
Yeah, the last time it was so cold, man.
The department says the change in trout season comes after considering fish health and warmer water. In Wichita, Kansas, police are looking for whoever stole an iconic bronze statue of baseball legend Jackie Robinson. It was taken days before his 105th birthday on Wednesday. However, with the help of contributions throughout the community, a replacement statue is already in the works. Rachel Hallam has the reaction from one of Robinson's children.
He was a very intelligent person and very driven. I guess he felt like he was trying to prove something.
Teammates and family of legendary baseball player Jackie Robinson reflecting on their time with him, as January 31st, 2024, number 42 would have turned 105 years old. David Robinson, his oldest son, is now talking about his father's statue being stolen and destroyed.
It seems to be a case of just human failure to think, to act with some kind of direction.
Wichita police have not made an arrest and can't confirm a motive, but David says he believes there wasn't any hatred behind the crime.
Jackie Robinson is a figure renowned in American history for unification, for positive and successful working together. And so an element of hatred or desire to destroy didn't seem to be a possible motivation.
The community responding quickly, raising more than $100,000 in just 3 days as they work to replace the statue in the next few months.
When we clearly see a need, clearly see a wrong, we're ready to jump in and support to rectify that issue.
And on Jackie's birthday, David uses the opportunity to remind everyone the importance of his dad's story.
Thousands and millions of people have suffered throughout history and will continue to suffer, and it's not a sustainable way for us to continue as human beings.
Georgia native Jackie Robinson was the first African American to play in Major League Baseball. He died in 1972 at 53 years old. The effort to raise money for a new statue has already brought in more than $100,000. And up next, the war between Israel and Hamas is intensifying. Marianne Rafferty will have the details on any sign of a ceasefire.
Don't be left out in the cold this winter. Let Miami Fireplace and Stoves help keep you warm with a wood. I'm pregnant.
Put UC in check and keep it there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq and learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Topping World Watch, almost 1 year after a devastating 7.8 earthquake rocked southern Turkey, residents there are still trying to pick up the pieces. The massive quake killed more than 50,000 people and reduced hundreds of thousands of homes to rubble on February 6, 2023. According to the Red Cross, nearly 1 out of 4 people are without work and living off charity. More than 400,000 people live in tents or container homes. The Turkish president has vowed to build more than 300,000 homes by next month, but some say the government should update the building codes and enforce regulations first in order to avoid a repeat in the event of the next unexpected natural disaster. And there are signs that Iranian leaders are nervous about some of the actions of its proxy groups in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. As according to multiple people familiar with U.S. intelligence, Iran has long funded, equipped, and trained its proxy militias in the region with the goal of attacking Americans. Those Iran-backed militants have launched over 160 attacks on U.S. forces since October, but the drone attack that killed 3 American soldiers in Jordan last weekend were the first deaths since the attacks began. Officials citing U.S. intelligence said that the drone attack has worried political leadership in Tehran. These attacks threaten to disrupt the global economy and increase the risk of direct confrontation with the U.S. Indirect talks to help broker the safer release of the remaining Hamas hostages continue, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he has, quote, red lines, citing he won't agree to a permanent ceasefire in Gaza, to pulling out troops from the region, or to freeing thousands of Palestinians that Israel has in its prisons. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty takes a closer look at the escalating conflict as other world leaders accuse Israel of violating the orders of the United Nations top court.
Israeli forces across northern, central, and southern Gaza aren't backing down, pressing on with their mission to kill Hamas terrorists and destroy their strongholds. Retaliation after the terror group's deadly October incursion into Israel that sparked the war.
We will not end this war without achieving all of our goals.
Since the early stages of the conflict, Israel says Hamas has been using Palestinian civilians as human shields, making it difficult to target the militants without compromising the innocent.
Israel is acting contrary to its international law obligations.
More than 26,000 people have been killed so far, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. Israeli and American officials have questioned the accuracy of those numbers. While South Africa alleges Israel's operations are mounting to genocide, previously asking the top United Nations court to step in. But days after the court ruled Israel's campaign in Gaza must aim to prevent civilian casualties, South African officials are accusing the IDF of already ignoring the UN mandate.
Hundreds of people have been killed in the last 3-4 days.
The U.S. ambassador to the UN condemning the allegations and defending America's top ally in the Middle East.
We must be honest about what the court did not order. Specifically, it has not ordered an immediate ceasefire.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will travel back to the Middle East this weekend to address hostage release negotiations and the fate of Gaza once the war ends. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
And those are our top stories this morning for World Watch. Coming up, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty will have your Thursday forecast. That was weird.
And we're just running, man. Running.
3, 2, 1.
Next Level Chef, all new tonight at its regular time on Fox.
Well, it's turned out to be a pretty nice start to your Thursday. Temperatures not near as cold this morning. Most of us sitting into the mid-40s. And we're going to warm up pretty quickly as we go through the daytime hours for us today. 9 a.m. 52, 61 by noon, 65 by 3 p.m. I actually think most of us will top out 66 or 67 degrees. We'll back down to 61 by 6 p.m. Now, a lot of clouds. Plus, it's going to be breezy outside. Those winds are going to keep those temperatures up. Southerly winds at about 25 to 30 at times, gusting, especially this afternoon into the evening hours. Now, let's go all the way into Friday, and you can see those wind gusts, still breezy, gusts 15 to 20 by the time we head into Friday afternoon. And this is all due to clouds kind of working through the region. Temperatures for us today, look at this, by the noon hour, into the lower 60s all week long. We've had temperatures into the 60s. We're going to do it again even on Friday. But you can see afternoon highs, I think most of us, into the mid 60s. Let's go into tonight. Still partly cloudy skies across the region. Not as chilly. We back down upper 40s. Then Friday, the clouds really thicken up as we go through the day. I do think it's going to be dry, but those high temperatures right back up into the mid 60s. And this is going to lead into that next storm system, which rolls in this weekend. In fact, let's go all the way to Saturday morning. Look at the showers starting to pick up on the Kansas, Oklahoma side, and then spreading east. Let's get another look at this. Look at the rain pushing in, so it increases all day long on Saturday. Here's 4 p.m. As we get into late Saturday night into Sunday morning, rain just kind of pivots on top of us and sticks around. Light rain showers stick around all day Sunday, and then finally, by the time we get into Sunday evening and Sunday night, this rain will start to rotate out of here. Still a few leftover showers Monday morning, but look at this. Once we get into Monday afternoon, pretty good, a little bit cooler, partly sunny skies into the 50s. How much rain could we get this weekend? It looks overall fairly light, but still decent amounts. I think a lot of us, a half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and especially once you get into Kansas and Oklahoma, a lot of areas could pick up near an inch of rain. It's something we need. Stinks it's on the weekend, but it is definitely something that we need across the region. All right, let's go 67 for us today. Tomorrow's Groundhog Day. 66 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. The rain kind of settles in for the weekend, a little bit cooler into the 50s, lasting into Monday morning, but right back into the 60s next Wednesday and Thursday, and then rain back in for Super Bowl weekend.
And during the 7-day winter sale, get the Summit Queen for only $299.99, plus 4 years no interest and free shipping. Peace of mind and a great night's sleep, only at Denver Mattress.
Could it be the answer to one of the greatest mysteries of our time? A deep-sea exploration company says yes, it could. The search for the plane Amelia Earhart was attempting to fly around the world has confounded generations since its disappearance more than 85 years ago. Now one explorer believes he's found the wreckage. Christian Benavides reports.
Miss Amelia Earhart was lost in mid-ocean.
A great aviation mystery may have a significant new clue. This sonar image from deep in the Pacific Ocean. That grainy outline resembles the shape of Amelia Earhart's long-lost Lockheed Electra plane.
I mean, she's America's favorite missing person, right? As long as she's missing, there's always going to be somebody out there searching.
Including Tony Romeo, a former U.S. Air Force intelligence officer who founded Deep Sea Vision, the company which mounted an expedition that captured the image.
You know, it's logistically very challenging. It took us 18 months from start to finish to kind of put this whole thing together.
Earhart disappeared in 1937, attempting to become the first female pilot to fly around the world. She was already the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, only the second person to ever do so. On July 2nd, she and her navigator took off from New Guinea with a planned refueling stop on Howland Island, situated between Australia and Hawaii.
Most likely, she ran out of gas, so she would have tried to sort of pancake land the airplane into the water and the surface. And then as it filled with water, it would have slowly sank and then spiraled down all the way down to the seafloor.
Aviation's leading lady, Miss Amelia Earhart.
For decades, her disappearance has been the source of speculation and folklore, from castaway on a deserted island to being a spy to captured by the Japanese, even living under an assumed name as a nun in New Jersey. All theories Romeo hopes his findings will put to rest. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Romeo says he and his team will go back out later this year to examine what he believes to be the wreckage. After an exhaustive search that came up empty in 1937, Amelia Earhart was declared dead in 1939. Coming up, the Joplin Fire Department welcomes new firefighters as well as the opening of a new fire station. Amber Jenkins shares their story.
Welcome to Miss Daisy's, where style meets comfort. It's your space. Come shop with us at Miss Daisy's Home and Decor and give your home the makeover it deserves.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The time now is 7:28 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. The Monarch Cement Company and Evergy Energy Solutions announced their partnership on a solar project that they say is participated to serve as a model for the cement industry's use of renewable energy. They say it'll have the capacity to generate 20 megawatts of clean electricity. The project is designed to offset a significant portion of Monarch's energy consumption, reducing greenhouse gas emissions. The solar project will be located on Monarch's property in Humboldt, Kansas. And if the memory of a past relationship still bugs you, the Nature Reach program at Pitt State has an unusual fundraiser for you. Now is your chance to name a cockroach, mouse, or rat after that not-so-special someone no longer in your life, which will then be fed to one of the program's animal ambassadors.
No, it's not still alive. So we one of the reasons why we have to do the fundraiser is because it's pretty expensive to buy rats and mice. So we buy them in bulk. So it's usually over $1,000 when we purchase rats and mice to feed our birds of prey and our snakes. So any help we can get to raise funds to help feed our critters is going to be fabulous.
If you're hungry to donate, check out our website at koamnewsnow.com for more information. Fort Scott residents yesterday had a chance to learn about preventing human trafficking. The E3 Ranch Foundation and the Bourbon County Sheriff teamed up for a presentation themed around Be Alert. It teaches parents to stay vigilant on social media and understand how predators can exploit students through it.
So our message tonight is, as an adult, you don't have to be an expert in technology. You need to be an expert in the kid that you care about based on 3 words. It's all about the exploitation of vulnerability. That means you don't have to be an expert in technology. You need to be an expert in the kid you care about. Go. What can I do to keep their vulnerability from being exploited, understanding the role that their life online plays? And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. Our organization.
Fort Scott students will also be able to view a Be Alert presentation today and tomorrow. Now let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for a quick look at weather.
All right, good morning, everyone. Of course, heading out the door this morning, it's not bad. We do have a lot of clouds that have increased across the region, but still, our temperatures look great. So heading out the door to school, mostly cloudy skies, about 50 degrees. Now, the southerly winds starting to pick up a little bit at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But heading home, check this out, 65 degrees. But again, those southerly winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So up to 61 by noon, 65 by 3. I actually think our high temp right around 66 or 67 degrees. And then we back down to 61 by 6 p.m. But those winds are going to start to kick up. Southerly winds, gust at times, especially by this evening, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And look at this, they stay pretty breezy all the way into your Friday as well. Now, this is going to keep our temperatures up, but what this will also do is bring some rain into the forecast for the weekend. So we're going to be talking about that all coming up here in just a bit.
It was a big day for the Joplin Fire Department. Not only did firefighters welcome new faces, but they also opened a new station. KOAM's Amber Jenkins was there.
7 new faces will begin serving as firefighters for Joplin. Their graduation marks the end of training as they start duty.
We started training 6 months ago on August 7th. It's always been in the back of my mind. The opportunity came up, got encouragement from my family, and so I knew this was the time to go for it.
Jared Baker originally worked in ministry, but with the support of his family, Baker became a fire cadet.
It wasn't easy. I had to learn a whole new vocabulary. I had to learn a whole new set of skills. I had to learn everything from the ground up. I'm as green as can be when it comes to firefighting.
In addition to new firefighters, John Miles was promoted to training chief. With 19 years of experience, Miles understands what it takes to be a firefighter.
I still remember when I was in their shoes. I still remember being that new guy that just wanted to learn everything. And I was very lucky. The guy that was in my current position when I was in their position was very passionate about the job. He did a great job of motivating us and showing us what we wanted when we got done with the academies and eventually throughout our career.
The day wasn't just about new faces, but new spaces as well. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held to mark the opening of Station 7. 12 firefighters will be assigned to the $4.5 million facility, working 24-hour shifts as crews of 4. Station 7 location will serve as a resource for the industrial and hazmat needs. Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
All right, let's pray, folks.
The station and staffing are funded by the Public Safety Tax Initiative that was approved by voters in the November 2006 election. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Parsons community came together yesterday for a memorial service for the passing of a beloved K-9 officer.
Find huge deals throughout the store, including hot buys now up to 50% off. The President's Day sale going on now, only at Ashley.
The Parsons community came together yesterday for a memorial service for the passing of a beloved K-9 officer.
We all interacted with K-9 Kareem, as he would wander through the police department. And certainly he was not a therapy dog, but the secondary benefit of having an exquisitely trained, animal like Kareem is that he also has a personality.
More than just a dog. The best word to describe K-9 Kareem, hero.
He was also cross-trained as a tracker, and so he could track evidence. He tracked lost kids. He tracked missing seniors, who had dementia. So he truly was a guardian of the community.
After his untimely death in August, this memorial service can now provide closure to Kareem's fellow officers and community.
If you ever had the privilege of being loved by a dog, you know that God exists and that God is love.
It wasn't just the Parsons Police Department that was in attendance today to honor K-9 Kareem. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, as well as the Labette County Sheriff's Office and the Baxter Springs Police Department all attended to honor K-9 Kareem.
For Chief Spinks, waiting to have an official memorial was necessary to discover the truth behind K-9 Kareem's passing.
Nobody, wants to see any kind of a criminal investigation or personnel issues drag out. But unfortunately, we want to follow the letter of the law. We want to make sure that we have all the facts.
Members of the general public joined law officers in paying tribute to a dog that served his community and who many call a hero. Reporting in Parsons, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
K-9 Kareem passed away in August due to a heat stroke. The handler has since been fired, and a special prosecutor is being brought in to potentially charge the former handler. Coming up, tax season is officially here. We'll have some tips and tricks to help you prepare for this year's taxes. And we'll have some rain chances this weekend. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty will be here with your 7-day forecast.
Goodbye, paperwork. Prize in studio.
I may need a little help from y'all.
Then DJ and record producer D Nice.
Today at 4, right here on Fox 14.
Well, it's turned out to be a pretty nice start to your Thursday. Temperatures not near as cold this morning. Most of us sitting into the mid-40s. And we're going to warm up pretty quickly as we go through the daytime hours for us today. 9 a.m. 52, 61 by noon, 65 by 3 p.m. I actually think most of us will top out 66 or 67 degrees. We'll back down to 61 by 6 p.m. Now, a lot of clouds. Plus, it's going to be breezy outside. Those winds are going to keep those temperatures up. Southerly winds at about 25 to 30 at times, gusting, especially this afternoon into the evening hours. Now, let's go all the way into Friday, and you can see those wind gusts, still breezy, gust 15 to 20 by the time we head into Friday afternoon. And this is all due to clouds kind of working through the region. Temperatures for us today, look at this, by the noon hour, into the lower 60s all week long. We've had temperatures into the 60s. We're going to do it again even on Friday. But you can see afternoon highs, I think most of us, into the mid 60s. Let's go into tonight. Still partly cloudy skies across the region. Not as chilly. We back down upper 40s. Then Friday, the clouds really thicken up as we go through the day. I do think it's going to be dry, but those high temperatures right back up into the mid 60s. And this is going to lead into that next storm system, which rolls in this weekend. In fact, let's go all the way to Saturday morning. Look at the showers starting to pick up on the Kansas, Oklahoma side, and then spreading east. Let's get another look at this. Look at the rain pushing in. So it increases all day long on Saturday. Here's 4 p.m. As we get into late Saturday, Saturday night into Sunday morning, rain just kind of pivots on top of us and sticks around. Light rain showers stick around all day Sunday, And then finally, by the time we get into Sunday evening and Sunday night, this rain will start to rotate out of here. Still a few leftover showers Monday morning, but look at this. Once we get into Monday afternoon, pretty good, a little bit cooler, partly sunny skies into the 50s. How much rain could we get this weekend? It looks overall fairly light, but still decent amounts. I think a lot of us, a half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and especially once you get into Kansas and Oklahoma, a lot of areas could pick up near an inch of rain. It's something we need. Stinks it's on the weekend, but it is definitely something that we need across the region. All right, let's go 67 for us today. Tomorrow's Groundhog Day. 66 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. The rain kind of settles in for the weekend, a little bit cooler into the 50s, lasting into Monday morning, but right back into the 60s next Wednesday and Thursday, and then rain back in for Super Bowl weekend.
All right, in Consumer Watch this morning, the FBI says cybercrime could be coming to your doorstep. The Bureau says it has seen an uptick in scams from May to December of last year of people being told to convert their assets to gold or cash. The agency says that victims are being tricked into giving their money to a courier who comes to their house, as the scammers assure them it is a way to keep their assets safe. Cybersecurity experts say the new scam is changing how cybercrime is dealt with because the identity of the scammers is likely to be exposed on videotape. The FBI says the U.S. government or any real business will never ask you to purchase gold and reminds consumers to protect their personal information. The Biden administration is extending talks on its student loan relief program. After mounting pressure, the Education Department agreed to extend those talks. Advocates and progressive lawmakers have urged the Education Department to return to the bargaining table after previous negotiations broke down in December. They want the White House to bring more student loan forgiveness to more Americans, despite whatever legal or political hurdles they could face later. The Education Department proposed relieving the debt for borrowers who have been paying back their loans for more than 20 years, and forgiving up to $20,000 for borrowers whose payments have increased because of interest. But many critics say that doesn't go far enough. And the Federal Communications Commission is gearing up to crack down on artificial intelligence-generated robocalls. The agency announced Wednesday that it is looking to criminalize the use of fake calls created by AI. The new rules would allow state attorneys generals to pursue legal action against actors who use AI-generated voices to impersonate someone else. Earlier this month, the New Hampshire Attorney General's office announced an investigation after voters there received an AI-generated robocall impersonating President Biden. The 5-member commission is expected to vote on the proposal in a few weeks. And filing your taxes can be taxing, but there may be several ways that you could claw back more money from the government this year. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at the tips some business experts say you should be aware of.
Tax season has begun, but before you file with the IRS, business experts say there's a few things you can do that could help you maximize your returns.
So a lot of people are wondering, should I file my return as soon as I get my information? And interestingly, this year, you might want to wait.
According to J.T. Egan, accounting lecturer at Purdue University, this can be especially true if you're the parent of young kids.
Currently, Congress is considering some what we call extenders, and if these extenders pass, it may impact things like the child tax credit.
On Wednesday, the House approved a bill to extend the child tax credit. It now heads to the Senate, but if approved, it could make it easier for more families to qualify, as well as increase the value per child and adjust the credit to match inflation in the future. Advocates say it could help combat child poverty.
If you file too early, you run the risk of actually missing out on that and wait for the IRS to do a catch-up.
Meanwhile, Egan says there's also a bunch of energy credits you can try and claim this tax season.
So if you got new windows and they're energy efficient windows on your house, there's actually a small tax credit. Also things like a new furnace, a new water heater, those all can potentially create an additional credit.
The deadline to file your taxes isn't until April 15th, but if you miss it,
be prepared for some notices. And if you get some notices, my advice is don't sit on them. They are not a fine wine. They do not age well with time.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
And that wraps up our Consumer Watch this morning. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
It's the 7-day winter sale at Furniture. Thunder Friday Nights is sponsored locally by Downstream Casino Resort and Vance Automotive Group.
Parents know all too well how difficult it is to buy clothes and shoes for their children, especially when they are on a growth spurt. But what happens when the stores don't carry your child's size? Julia Avery shares the struggle of one mother and her son's size 23 feet.
To walk a mile in another man's shoes would be hard to do for Jorel Bolden because the 16-year-old from Independence wears a whopping size 23.
He's a giant, but he's a gentle giant.
Helping his single mother Tamika get around, he currently does not have shoes to wear. The only pair he has are size 22. His mom had to hunt them down on eBay, and in just 6 months, he grew out of them.
They're too tight. They hurt when I walk.
I'm on a mission because he can't really go out.
Tamika is on a mission for a 23. So to give you some perspective on just how big 23 is, we reached out to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they said none of their players wear a shoe size that big. So we've got to think bigger. Shaquille O'Neal. 22. Even Shaq isn't 23. I feel like there's a Michael Jordan joke in there somewhere.
Probably even bigger because he'll probably grow out of that.
She says quotes for ordering custom shoes can get up to nearly $2,000.
I think it's embarrassing. I don't like asking people for help.
So his mom asked for him. A GoFundMe has been set up in his name to get the custom shoes. Shoes that can probably only last long enough for Tamika to figure out how to get this boy to stop growing.
Pretty soon I'm not even going to be able to walk underneath doorways. I'm going to have to duck.
All right, I hope he gets the shoes that he needs. Now let's head over to Doug Heddy for a quick look at weather.
All right, good morning, everyone. Of course, heading out to the door this morning, it's not bad. We do have a lot of clouds that have increased across the region, but still, our temperatures look great. So heading out the door to school, mostly cloudy skies, about 50 degrees. Now, the southerly winds starting to pick up a little bit at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But heading home, check this out, 65 degrees. But again, those southerly winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So up to 61 by noon, 65 by 3. I actually think our high temp right around 66 or 67 degrees. And then we back down to 61 by 6 p.m. But those winds are going to start to kick up. Southerly winds, gust at times, especially by this evening, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And look at this. They stay pretty breezy all the way into your Friday as well. Now, this is going to keep our temperatures up, but what this will also do is bring some rain into the forecast for the weekend. So we're going to be talking about that all coming up here in just a bit.
I'm not coming out until Casey's has thin crust.
Infantry volunteers. We are proud to salute James Madur, a 4-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Denali and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources have come to an agreement regarding storage basins in McDonald County. Denali was ordered to stop land application in the state and empty its storage basins back in November. In an abatement order posted yesterday by the DNR, says Denali operated and maintained 3 water contaminant sources without a permit and committed other violations. According to a statement, Denali is hauling away food processing residuals stored in basins. That material will be taken to a wastewater treatment plant in Missouri or other outlets out of state. The Monarch Cement Company and Evergy Energy Solutions announced their partnership on a solar project that they say is anticipated to serve as a model for the cement industry's use of renewable energy. They say it'll have the capacity to generate 20 megawatts of clean electricity. The project is designed to offset a significant portion of Monarch's energy consumption, reducing greenhouse gas emissions. The solar project will be located on Monarch's property in Humboldt, Kansas. And the Joplin Fire Department welcomed new faces and a new station. 7 new faces will begin serving as firefighters for Joplin. Their graduation marks the end of training as they start duty. In addition to new firefighters, John Miles was promoted to training chief. With 19 years of experience, Miles understands what it takes to be a firefighter. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held to start the opening of the Station 7. 12 firefighters will be assigned to the $4.5 million facility, working 24 shifts as crews of 4. And a Florida sheriff's deputy responded to an unusual call back in December. A man had encountered a pair of unusually friendly bear cubs on a rural road in Okaloosa County in the early morning hours. The cubs were later identified as Kodiaks, a subspecies of brown and grizzly bears native to Alaska's Kodiak Peninsula. Police body cam video shows the bears approaching the deputy and the man and exploring their vehicles without hesitation, startling the deputy. Bear experts from Florida Fish and Wildlife were able to transport the cubs to a secure location. And thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.